Good afternoon, folks. Sunday evening yet again, circa 3:30, so you know what that means. We are back out in operational HQ once again, and as you all know by now, I like nothing more than a Sunday afternoon unboxing. Do not adjust yourselves, your sets. I am armed with a Stanley knife. Never fear, we shall not do any mass destruction, I hope. There's the top layer of it open anyway. Oh, we're all out. And we have the flap off. So, now let's see. We have a set of steel rulers, which, if there's a short one in that which there's meant to be, will actually do me for a bookmark, which is the principal reason I bought it in the first place. We also have something which is extremely bloody heavy.
Okay.
And I don't know what it is, but we'll find out momentarily. We have... what are these now? Oh, assorted rasps. They weren't what I was exactly thinking they'd be, but that might come in handy. And we have
big time
the jewel in the crown, as they say, because it should leave us more in there. I forgot.
Can I open this? Yes, I can.
Where's the...
Oh, sorry. Yes, I need
No, I'm not pointing a knife at you, know. I forgot there's more stuff in here, which
This would be great, because we did have a problem with you and the large saw last week.
We did. Just that it was too heavy, actually.
Well, it was too long as well, I suppose, for one hand.
The young 90-year-old was well able to manhandle it, though. Now, let's hope. Oh no.
Don't know.
I've forgotten what I know.
You ordered all this, by the way. So.
I know I ordered it. And I only ordered it a week ago, so it's very unusual that I can't remember.
Oh my gosh. Jesus. No one's robbing this anyway.
Well, I know Alex Kieran was sort of giving out about their packaging vis-a-vis the box, but I would actually be giving out about it in another sense, and I still can't remember. Some sort of... I do know what it is now.
Do you?
It's the vice grips, I would say.
Ah, very good.
The vice grips, which are as good as a heavy duty set of pliers, number one, but where they will actually be more useful to me is for holding stuff in place, maybe when I'm trying to work on it, although I do think we have the absolute solution to that still in the box waiting for withdrawal, but we'll see in a moment.
No, sorry.
These are heavy duty. We'll look at them in a second. Now, this is, I think, what is going to be the game changer, if it is what I think it is.
That you were going on about for weeks.
Yeah. Yes, well, suffice to say that if this is what I think it is, and the way it should be, between it and the short-handled saw, it should solve an awful lot of problems vis-a-vis me being able to do stuff for myself rather than always being dependent on your good self.
What's in the box?
What's in the box? Well, that's what I just without wanting to give it away, I suppose. Let's see what would be the handiest way to open it. Do you reckon just open it in the middle, or?
Yes, and give me 1 second, I'll give you a hand now.
So I can be engaging in mass destruction. I'm sure there are people watching now and they're saying, who in their right mind let that fella loose with a Stanley knife? For sure. If it means improvising, that I'm able to do a few bits for myself.
So you want to get, come here a minute, let's see.
I'm trying to put it in squares, sort of.
Always, yeah, it's very taped up. See, can you get it on there? Hold on now. This is after we're going to lock it.
Oh, can you lock it?
Yeah.
Well,
Okay. So,
I think you. Which way would you go now?
along here. Okay, just go for it. Okay, going for it. Okay, that should do there.
Well, it's got a bit of it there. Now
Do you know what it is?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Oh,
it is what I. Whoop, there's bits and pieces. Oh, I forgot about this bit.
The most important thing we ordered, because I want to hang up shelves.
Yeah, I forgot about that. But this guy here.
Yes, well, that was your one.
Yeah.
So
But it's smaller, but it works.
it was a cheap one. We just wanted one for
Just to try out.
hanging out shelves. We're not in any way going to start like home improving.
Not yet, anyway.
So,
We'll wait till we go for the. And there's the battery.
which is why it probably feels a bit lighter.
There is the battery clicked in, and I presume it's chargeable.
It's chargeable. Probably not charged at all though.
Whoop, we go.
There you go.
Now, have we drill bits or is there
Yeah,
a
well,
drill?
one came with it, so that is something we will try and get before lockdown.
That's the right thing for.
In your element.
Perfect. Well, when will we do something we were looking at here the other day?
Well, there's a
was doing the shelf for the hot press, which we have to finish.
We got the shoe racks for the hot press, but when we cut them we realised how weak they were, to be honest.
So we'll have to double bolt them properly.
Or we might even they were cheap, we might use them somewhere else. We might
Definitely.
get proper shelves for the hot press.
Yeah, definitely needs charging. Or does it? No, there's plenty of power in it now.
In your show us that drill bit before we lose it. I'm just
Oh,
showing
there it is. Put it
We're a
in-
better place to put it.
Put it into it is the.
However you do that.
Nah, we'll learn.
Yeah.
We'll learn. Did you get it?
No, just try that. Whoop. I'm going to put it here for now and I'm looking at
Mr. Handyman will be down to us
Is he?
tomorrow probably. Anyway,
Good.
now here is the game changer
Brendan has been wanting this.
since we started, really.
I kind of don't know why we haven't bought it until now.
Well, to be fair, I didn't see one that I thought would.
Some of them are very big. Obviously, like people using them.
This sort of is big enough for you.
Well, yeah, but some of them were
Too big.
too big, really, for.
And now, if what I have in my head, I'm thinking sort of somewhere, because I was originally thinking over that end.
I don't know. Do you want to take it out of the box or should we wait until Declan is
Wait
here?
till the main man is here with us.
All
But
the
anyway,
parts.
to explain, it's probably fairly obvious. It's It's a voice for the bench. It's a voice for the bench. As my darling adjusts my hat live on screen. That's live television for you folks. It's a voice for the bench just so I will be able to clamp stuff into the bench when I am using it instead of having to try and put weight on it or have Susie or my father lean on it with her elbow or put Gary into work either.
Yeah, well, I was explaining that sometimes I think people, if they haven't watched all your videos,
yes,
don't realise you've only one dominant hand.
Yes, we've only one fully operational working tool.
So a lot of these things are your ways of...
Yeah, improvising to do things by disability up to and including, if Susie pans the camera around, we have seedling trays growing on a table over there with a little handheld sprayer that I also bought online for the sum total of €20, which was
the best.
One of the best investments of all the ones.
I was kind of looking at you going, what the hell are you doing buying a sprayer for
20 quid, but it's actually worked out because as some of you who may have been following our videos from the time we started will know, we actually at one stage during the summer had seedling trays growing in the window of the office, and they actually turned out very well, and we ended up using some of the vegetables off them in late summer or early autumn. So we have them lads over on the glass table. Now there's 2 of the 3 lots seem to be taken off. I'm not fully convinced about the 3rd lot yet, but we'll see how we go. I will admit though, as I said, I'm really excited about having the voice for the bench now, because it'll really mean that I'll be able to get into doing more woodwork, which is sort of what I've dreamt of for a long time, and the short handle tenon saw will come in handy for that as well. But as regards vegetables, I don't know how we're actually going to be fixed from now, say, until the end of the year, but we'll have a look into it anyway. Of course, you will have seen there a moment ago the cordless drill that I bought as well, which, well, I suppose it might come in handy for putting up excuse me folks, the insomnia won again last night. It might come in handy for putting up shelves, or as you would have seen when we had Dad out with us last week, for actually in the making up of shelves, or that if we need to bolt stuff for that, it would come in handy as well. So look, I know there are probably people rolling their eyes to heaven and saying, what in the name of God is he doing buying X, Y or Z, or what use will he have for it? But look, I have gone through enough battles in my life, both physical and mental, surrounding my disability and in other ways, and in particular from, say, this time last year to now has been a particularly difficult run in a lot of ways, and it was just a case of being at a point where I really had to try something to keep my mental state going, if nothing else. And certainly thanks to Susie mostly, but also my sister Barbara and her husband Dave, who cleaned out this, which used of course to be a calf shed, and left it that Susie and I could retool it literally and renovate it and turn it into this workshop or getaway cave or whatever you want to call it. You know, with other things not doable, shall we say, it was a matter of having to point the ship in a different direction and try and come up with other ways to keep the show on the road in a stable sense, mentally at least. Oh, my apologies again, folks, but look, I would far rather that you see me warts and all, as they say, rather than trying to sugarcoat it into something that it's not. But as I will have mentioned in the last couple of videos, we have realised now, with the days getting shorter and the weather getting colder, we will have to improvise some way of getting heat in here very shortly, whether actually grabbing an electrician in a hurry, which is not really.
And like, we should have maybe pushed it before this new lockdown is, do you know what I mean? But we didn't.
But sure,
it was summer.
As a very famous man once said on national television a couple of years ago, if me aunt was kitted out differently, she'd be me uncle.
It was summer and, you know, wedding budget.
Well, yes. The wedding, but there was a bit in what used to be the farm budget, but that actually went towards doing where we are now located, more or less. But we have a plan B. I'm sure some of you would have seen in past videos where I did go off and buy a rather large and heavy duty extension lead. So worst case scenario, we can run a lead out the office window to give us a bit of heat in here in the short term. And one thing I am determined, there's no way the cold weather or the dark evenings are going to stop me coming out here, because I have to come out here for my own mental stability, or, you know, I could end up in a place, and it's a case of admitting, back in a place where I don't want to be mentally or emotionally. But look, we've got a few bits of gear in. We'll be out tomorrow tipping around trying to do a few bits, and the boss woman is just telling me we better check the cabbage on the way back in, because I have a feeling it must be near ready. And she's nodding the head, which means it is ready.
But we don't want to harvest it all, because I do have to bring some of that home to Alex Kiernan, who lives on cabbage.
Well, that actually suits me, because I was wondering.
I don't think you're anyone here yet.
Oh, the two seniors will eat it, all right. More than I would myself, but we'll bring out. You can bring home a bit up to Alex as well, even though he still hasn't met me yet. buy me a few more brownie points. But listen, folks, I'm not going to ramble on too long. We will have another video up during the week because God knows if this new lockdown comes in the morning, God knows how long this poor woman is stuck with me. But we'll try and get another video up in a day or two. The 5th episode of Drive Through Sports Weekly will definitely be up during the week at some stage as well. We've a fair bit to talk about too, between Meath minors and Meath seniors, and there've been plenty of horse racing, and the Premiership is back, and various bits and bobs. But I leave it there for now, which is, folks, and sure, we'll catch up with you later in the week.